The other thing that can be tricky about this and deceptive is that people tend to think that just because you gave a pitch, it means that VC is interested in you. And that's really not true. That venture capitalist might be interested in kind of figuring out that segment. That venture capitalist might want to have all sorts of agenda items on their mind. But funding you may not be one of them. So one of the traps that inexperienced investors or entrepreneurs fall into is believing that doing a pitch is really about interest. It's really not necessary. I mean, maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. But don't be fooled that just because they're looking at your slides doesn't mean much of anything. It's rather when they start doing due diligence, when they start talking to starting to talk to other partners and so forth, are the real signals. And another one of the keys is if you're not getting those signals, if you're still seeing that associate or that junior partner, you can pretty much figure you're not going anywhere with them, and you may as well cut your losses and move on to more realistic funding sources. Another thing, by the way, if you're going to start your company and it's not in Silicon Valley, if you're going to start your company in Atlanta, in Austin, in somewhere else, be reminded that it's really tough to get Silicon Valley money. They will look at you, and they will often bring you along. But whether or not they fund you is a lot different story. You're much better off to go with regional investors than with the so-called big-time investors. It's very hard to get that kind of money. So again, think real about how good your product is and who's really going to realistically invest in you and who's investing now.